Aloha Pro City High School Hana. My name is Aaron Chung and I'm the Vice Principal of Student Support here at Pro City High School. Welcome to our first ever Charger Showcase. Tonight, students will be presenting, highlighting, and reflecting some of their learning they've experienced during this unprecedented and pretty awesome school year. After the presenters are done, there may be time to ask them some questions via the chat box, so please get ready, your questions ready. Our first presenter is Katie Ann Gaza, who will be presenting her project about recycling and redesigning. Katie?
Hi, my name is Katie Ann Gaza, and I am a junior in Fashion Level 1. What does newspaper, tissue paper, and contact lens packaging all have in common? Well, not all of them can be recycled, but they can all be reused. My assignment was to create a garment mostly made out of recycled or reused materials. In my fashion class, I first created a dress made out of primarily newspaper as my recycled material. However, for my FCCLA project, I really wanted to incorporate more reused materials, so I included tissue paper as well as contact lens packaging in addition to newspaper. My inspiration for this outfit was the 70s because of its bright colors and its heavy influence of flowers. I first created the base for my outfit by creating a corset-style top and a short-fitted skirt out of newspaper. Next, I painted sheets of newspaper, which I cut flower shapes out of and added glitter to. I then added these flowers to the base of my top and skirt to create a very noticeable and interesting texture. I also cut flower shapes out of tissue paper and added one to my top and smaller ones to a ribbon to create a belt for my overskirt. My overskirt is made out of clear string, tissue paper, and is being held down by contact lens packaging, which is being hidden by more tissue paper flowers. From doing this project, I gained a new perspective on things that are constantly being thrown away or thought of as common trash. While doing my research, I learned about all of the trash that are going into our landfills, as well as how landfills are really ruining our environment. While recycling does help reduce the growth of landfills, not all things can be recycled, such as tissue paper, styrofoam, as well as plastic bags, all which are common during holidays and celebrations. I now pay closer attention to the things I throw away daily and try to think of new ways to use them. It could be as big and complex as making a dress, or it could be as simple as turning a cup into a bird feeder. Are there any questions?
Questions, feel free to type them into the chat box now, and we'll go ahead and ask. And while we wait, Katie, how long did it take you to do this? It's very intricate. How long did it take you to do?
It probably took over 100 hours. I remember working on it for a couple months every Sunday for at least 3 hours, as well as a couple hours during the weekdays.
Oh, wow, that's a lot of dedication. Why don't you tell me, what's your favorite part about your fashion and design class?
My favorite part is that it's really hands-on, unlike a lot of other classes where you just sit and learn a lot of facts and things like that. But with this, I can actually make something, and it really makes me excited that I can actually do something with what I learn.
Was this your favorite piece that you made, or was there something even better that you enjoyed making?
I did create another dress made out of newspaper, and I think I like them both the same.
Okay. And like I said in our introduction, this has been a crazy, just unprecedented type school year. I guess what's one thing that you'll take away from this school year, not just from this class, but in general?
I think it's different, and I think it's great that we had this opportunity to learn to adapt to things. I think that's a great skill to have, knowing that not everything is going to be the same all the time, and it's good to be open about things and not just close it off and just say it's difficult, but actually try to work things out.
Oh, that's a very good point. What academy are you in?
I'm in the IBAD Academy, specifically Arts and Communication.
Okay. Who's your favorite teacher?
They're still grading my test.
Very good answer. Very politically correct answer, my friend. Let's see. What's one thing, or what grade are you, Katie?
I'm a junior.
Okay. And what's been your favorite part about being a Charger in your 3 years here?
I think my favorite part is that it's a really good environment to have, and I met a lot of people here that I think I'll be friends with for a really long time.
Okay, so this is Fashion Design 1. Are you taking Fashion Design 2 next year?
Yes, I'm planning on taking fashion design too.
Is this a career goal that you have in mind to go into the fashion industry?
Yeah, I always had an interest in becoming a designer, but I never really put that much work into it until now, so I really think this class has helped me.
Okay, very good. Well, Katie, I know that it might take you a little while to kind of transition back to your station, and we are going to have another student coming in shortly. So I do thank you very much for your presentation. It's an awesome dress, and it's a
you.
wonderful concept. So thank you very much, Katie. Yeah, I'm going to start. Okay, again, thank you, Charger Ohana, for joining us tonight on our first ever Charger Showcase. For those of you who have just joined us, again, I just wanted to remind you that students are just going to be presenting different learning experiences that they've had throughout the school year. These presenters were chosen by their academy principals as well as their academy teachers, just for interesting and insightful projects. So I do thank you for joining us. We will be having some downtime in between as presenters come in and set up. So thank you for joining us. Sit back, relax, and we will have about a lot more presenters actually coming by throughout the night. Okay? So we will be having another presenter come in shortly. Okay, again, thank you guys very much for joining us this evening for our Charger Showcase. Our next presenters are Remy Kubota, Nicholas Kano, and Krista Inoue. They'll be sharing the student activities from this past school year. So thank you guys very much for joining us. Come on up.
Okay, so hi everyone, I'm Nick, and I'm the Student Government Vice President.
I'm Krista, and I'm the Student Government Spirit Chairperson.
And I'm Remy, the Student Government President.
As you all know, it's been a crazy past year, and it's been an interesting experience learning how to do things virtually. We were thrown into a totally different world than what we were used to, and this was no exception to the student government.
We were really used to the traditional way of handling all of our student activities here on campus, such as the assemblies at the gym and or the auditorium, homecomings on the stadium, and even the lunch activities at the mic, or also known as AV Courtyard. So once we found out this year was going to be completely virtual, we had to rethink everything and think of whole new ideas and ways to continue on school activities.
We were extremely lucky to work with the dedicated and hardworking student government. Although many members of our team were new, they adapted really quickly and learned to work with the rest of us. We had to collaborate in our weekly meetings on Thursday and share and collaborate with each other. We had to communicate a lot since everything was done virtually and online, and we didn't get to see each other in person.
It was honestly really tough for us this year. Even us, the student government, had a lot of difficulty keeping up our motivation. So I'm assuming all the students here on campus must have had an even harder time keeping the spirit of the Chargers alive. But then again, the student government was very, very lucky, as we had students from all 4 grades and some students who from different friend groups on campus. So with this, it was really easy to communicate with all of us and to continue spreading our ideas and collaborating, whether it was from word of mouth or other communications. Thank you.
Going 100% virtual proved to be a bit difficult for us at first. We learned how to edit, use iMovie, use YouTube, and we also learned how to manage all of our social media platforms, including Instagram and Twitter. Although this was a hard barricade to first get over, we learned how to adapt, and the turnout was pretty amazing.
So for our presentation tonight, we are showing 2 of our virtual events that we had this year that we thought were pretty unique. So the first one is our Alma Mater Challenge, where all 4 classes competed singing the Alma Mater, and this was made into a video. And our next one is the music video competition, where all 4 classes actually made a music video parody. And these 2 events had the biggest turnout, as it also had teachers and alumni participating in these events. So with these competitions, students were able to vote, and with these voters, we had almost 400 to maybe around 500 student voters, which is honestly a very considerable big amount for our school.
So along with the Alma Mater Challenge and the music video competition, we also had other competitions or just activities like dress-up weeks for Spirit Week. We had a gingerbread house making contest, a pumpkin carving contest, and even a mask design contest, and all of these had great student turnout and participation. So although it was a bit of a challenge to adapt to everything that changed this year, we, with the help of our whole student government and all the students and staff at Pearl City High School, were able to do it. Thank you.
Okay, as we wait for our next presenter, does anybody have any questions for the group on the chat box? Okay, nothing's coming up, but I'll ask a couple questions. I know what has been your best memory of Pearl City High School student government people? For whoever is going to answer, step up closer to the mic so they can hear you. We'll ask Remy, Miss President, Miss Everything. Remy, why don't you step up to the mic and go ahead and...
Of all of high school?
Yes.
Okay. I think my favorite memory was junior year for Turkey Trot. A group of our class dressed up as Spider-Man, and they ran the whole like 1 or 2 mile turkey trot in their suit with the full mask, and at the end they like all fell together, and it was really adorable. But yeah, I think that would have to be my favorite memory.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys very much. I want to get you guys back outside by your board. So thank you guys for presenting, and we are grateful that you guys are Chargers. So thank you guys very much. Okay, and thank you very much, Charger Ohana, for joining us. I see there are 36 of you guys watching so far. We will be still live, but we are waiting our next presenter. So sit tight, relax, and our next presenter should be here shortly. Okay. All right, thank you guys very much, Charger Ohana, for joining us tonight. Our next presenter is Mary Julianne Beatriz Guzman, and she's going to be talking all about her Hasbro toy design. So, Marianne, take it away.
Hello, my name is Mary Guzman. I'm a junior in the engineering pathway, and this is my project. So, my project is all about designing a product for the Hasbro toy company. First, we attended a design brief with our client so that we could learn about the criteria, constraints, and address any problems, any questions that we had for the client. From there, from that meet, we learned that we had to create a toy covering a career pathway designed for ages 3 to 6, and we also discussed about other criteria and constraints through our questions. So here is the results of the design brief. And after that, I went to the brainstorming process. So we had to create 10 possible ideas for the what we would do to address the problem. So my approach was to look at different careers. So I looked at culinary, to transportation, to photography. But the 3 careers that I went through was archaeology, paleontology, and hairstyling. So I took those 3 careers and put them and made concept sketches where I can make like the design of the set. So here is the archaeology set, this is the paleontology set, and this is the hairstyling set. So I took these 3 concept sketches and put them into a decision matrix. This decision matrix is to score each idea based on how closely it followed the criteria and constraints that the client gave. So after scoring all three designs, archaeology came on top and scored the most points. So I took that concept sketch and put it into Onshape, which is a space where we can 3D design and model any kind of 2D sketch or any kind of idea. So here is the final. The archaeology set is basically a box with dirt, quote unquote dirt, and the child will be able to dig up, so to say, dig up the dirt piece and reveal these ancient artifacts. So this is the dirt box and the dirt piece modeled. So the dirt box, dirt piece, it's hollowed out. Then these are the ancient artifacts inside. So if I just take out, inside you'll see that there are ancient artifacts. So there's a skeleton head, a jewel, and a little statue. So skeleton head, little statue artifact, and a jewel. There's also tools. There's also tools that came with the set. So a magnifying glass and a brush so that they could pretend to analyze and brush off any remaining dirt. I learned a lot about the engineering design process through this project, especially in the fields of concept sketching, prototyping, and the criterias. So through the concept sketching, I learned that it's very important to have complete sketches because it's very difficult to make the 3D model without having a complete sketch. It's like making a house without a blueprint. It's also very important. I learned that it's very important to keep in mind the physical restrictions that the toy might encounter when brought to life. Also, the importance of prototyping. I learned that you cannot make a toy on the first go, especially after finalizing the prototype and printing it out. I realized that there was a lot that could have been improved, especially with my toy design as well. And lastly, with criterias, it's very important to keep in mind of the criterias before going through and making the 3D model, because it's very difficult to try to push and make room for all of the criterias in the final stages right before printing. So that has been my Hasbro toy design project. Thank you very much for listening. Is there any questions?
Thank you very much, Mary. We really appreciate your sharing your design with us today.
Thank you.
Okay. And we will be transitioning to our next presenter. So we'll go ahead and help you clean that up. No problem. Take your time. Okay, thank you guys very much for joining us this evening. Our next presenter is Jasmine Kwok, and she is presenting her Aloha PE project. Jasmine?
Hello, my name is Jasmine Kwok, and I am in Ms. Taniyama's physical education course. Last quarter, we were assigned a video project for the Aloha PE competition, in which we each had to create 2 fitness-related goals for ourselves, and we had to document our progress in our videos. My goals were to run a mile in 9 minutes and run 5 miles without stopping. Seems simple enough. Now, even though I'm representing my PE class, I am not an athlete. I'm not in any sports, and prior to PE class, I didn't even regularly exercise. But I do love learning, and I love school. I think that the content we learn in our core classes, they're very useful, and I can apply them to real life. That's why I love them. But to me, before I took the class, PE just wasn't a class that could offer that to me. I thought to myself, who wants to be in a class that grades you on how fast or how far you run? Little did I know that PE was so much more than that. I like the units that, again, what taught me material that I could apply to real life. I liked the ones that taught me how to healthily portion meals, how to safely organize fitness schedules, how to proceed in situations where someone is hurt. But I also learned a lot of soft skills, especially during the project, the video project. I had to be able to prioritize and balance my schedules, because if I wanted to incorporate fitness into my life, then I needed to be able to plan my events accordingly. I needed to be able to have patience with myself, because I couldn't just expect myself to just meet my goals just like that in the first week. But most importantly, I needed to be able to create realistic yet challenging goals for myself. And about those goals that I mentioned in the beginning, I didn't meet either of them. Yep, I ran for 4 days a week for 4 weeks, and I still wasn't able to meet my goals. That was kind of a bummer. Of course, I was disappointed like anyone would be, but what outweighed that disappointment was excitement, because looking at my graphs, looking at my numbers, looking at my progress, there was clear improvement between the first time I ran and the last, and I was excited. I thought that was amazing, and I was proud of myself. It just came to show that it never really was ever about whether I succeeded or if I failed. It was about the gray area in between, whether I put in the motivation, whether I was willing to work hard, whether I was willing to persevere. That was what really mattered. And even though my project was due a while back, I haven't given up on my goals, because true goals don't have deadlines, and I'm still working towards them today. Thank you, and do you have any questions?
Thank you very much, Jasmine, for your hard work on this project, and I'm very proud of you. Okay, so thank you guys very much, and Jasmine, you can go ahead and move your thing back outside, and we're going to set up for our next presenter. All right, thank you very much, Charger Ohana, for joining us this evening. Our next presenters are Sachi Sato and Marche Manzo, and they're here to talk to us all about spreading aloha and not germs. Girls?
Aloha! As mentioned, my name is Sachi Sato.
And my name is Marche Manzo, and we are IBAD, or International Business and Design Academy Ambassadors. And our project, we were tasked with we were given the task to figure out a problem and the solution to that proposed problem.
The problem we recognized in our community is that due to COVID-19, there are certain groups of people who aren't able to have the proper education as well as resources to keep themselves safe as well as our communities.
So our proposed solution to this issue was PPE COVID-19 educational packages. So these educational packages would have informational cards that would consist of places on the island that you can get tested for COVID-19, as well as where to go if you do experience symptoms of COVID-19, as well as our different rules and regulations on COVID-19, because our state is very different from the mainland or other places around the world. We would also have PPEs, so masks, hand sanitizers, and wipes, And the way that we were going to distribute it was we were going to have volunteers come in and we were going to pre-package these and distribute it to our hotel industries and travel agencies. That way they can distribute it to our many visitors that come to our islands to keep them safe as well as our community safe, and distribute it to our homeless population or our homeless shelters, and then they could distribute it to our homeless community to help keep our community safe as well.
So as Academy ambassadors, we had the opportunity to present this to the Chamber of Commerce, which has been an honor. And something that I've learned is that although through the pandemic, we have had new problems arise, there aren't any new solutions that can't be found as well. And as long as you try really hard and you don't let other people tell you what's good and what isn't, your ideas should be heard, as well as being able to be confident in them as well.
Through this experience, I was able to learn that although COVID-19 has enabled us to just stay at home and not do much, that the next generation is on fire for helping our community and thinking of new ways to help our community and our islands get better. It was nice to present in front of the Chamber of Commerce and just hear everybody else's proposed solutions and issues. And it was nice to see that all around the island, people are thinking of different ways to just turn this situation around and make things better. That although we are all at home, that we are all doing our part to help get better as a community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, girls, we just got a couple comments. Somebody wanted to say, awesome job. And another person wanted to just tell you that it's an awesome, great idea to distribute the COVID packets to everybody. So we do commend you guys on a job well done. And congratulations on your graduation.
Oh, thank you.
All right, girls, thank you guys very much. We will be bringing in the next presenter shortly. Thank you everybody for joining us. All right, everybody, welcome back to our first ever Charger Showcase. The next two presenters we have are Micah Zeller and Tyson Murakami, and they're here to show us the project about making sure that the weight room for everybody is nice and clean. So, gentlemen.
I'm Tyson Murakami, and I'm an ambassador for the Technology and Design Academy.
Hi, I'm Micah Zeller, and I'm an ambassador for the Technology and Design Academy.
So, as you said earlier, our project was to help clean the weight room. And you see, so much people look at the weight room and think it's just an opportunity for people to get big or strong, but it's more than that. It's a chance for students, and any student, basically an athlete, to overall build their fitness and actually their mental health, because weightlifting helps build people's confidence and overall is just something really good. So within our project, we were able to help Mrs. McCoy by lifting the weights from 2.5 all the way to 45 pounds, and we're able to separate them into stations. That way it's easier for her and for the students to access them. And it wasn't only the weights, it was the machines, the plates, and all of the mats as well. With that, we're just able to make it easier for her to sanitize throughout the year and just giving back to the students and let them have a chance to lift weights, because this whole year they weren't able to.
So what we learned from this was that teachers actually have a lot of work to do. They have to uphold the cleanliness of their classroom and sanitize desks while maintaining social distance. And since Miss McCoy is the weightlifting teacher, she not only has to do that for her normal classroom, but also the weight room. So we thought it was a good idea to help her out, make certain stations, about 8 to 10 stations, so that students could come in and actually use the weight room. So we were just really glad that we took this opportunity to help her out and get things done so that students could actually enjoy and weight lift. Does anybody have any questions?
Okay, we are caught up on time a little bit. So does anybody watching on YouTube have any questions for our gentleman? I'll give it about 30 seconds, and then we're probably going to transition to our next presenter. So while we're waiting for any questions, guys, during this crazy year, just one of you, quickly, what's the most memorable thing about this year?
School-wise?
Yeah.
It's changing to online. It's kind of different, but I would say it'd be changing to online. It was a different experience, but it really gave me an opportunity to do so much more, to get a job, and just to overall just do a lot more in my life. But yeah, it was good.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you guys very much. You guys can go ahead and back outside, back to your presentation stand. Thank you, Micah and Tyson. All right, thank you very much, Charger Ohana, for joining us for our Charger Showcase. Our next presenter is Alex Addis, and he is going to be talking about the Japanese puppet show that he put together. So Alex, take it away.
Hi, my name is Alexander Addis. I am in Sato Sensei's Japanese Level 3 class, and I will be showing you how I, along with Michael Lee and John St. Ange, created a Japanese puppet show. So in the first week of this project, we looked at an artwork entitled Moon Beyond the Fence by Satoru Abe, and if you're in the library right now, it's that one right over there. So a lot of our story elements, such as our characters, plot, and setting, were based on how we interpreted the artwork. So the next step was to create dialogue for each of our characters entirely in Japanese, along with the paper puppets that would actually be shown in the video. So for that part, we received guidance from Miss Bonnie Kim, who is a professional puppet artist from the Big Islands. She taught us how to actually articulate the puppets with joints, as well as how to create stop motion animations. So for our final project, after we put together the animations and dialogue, we presented it to our class where we received feedback on what was good about the video or what could use improvement. So my main takeaway from this project is that being creative requires inspiration, because as I said, most of our story elements were inspired by the observations we made with our artwork. But everyone observed something different from the artwork, which led to everyone creating something unique, which I thought was very interesting. And I also have a newfound appreciation for stop motion artists, because it is extremely tedious and time consuming to take pictures of each individual frame and put it all together with voice acting. I think for our project we had around 541 pictures in total. But in the end, everything just comes together and everyone has a unique story to tell. So my video will be posted later. Thank you.
Okay, and just for everybody's information, we will be sharing Alex's video on our website along with the live stream of this video as well. So if you're interested in seeing his Japanese puppet show, which I sure am, please make sure to check out our website, within the next couple of days. Okay, thank you very much, Alex. Oh, sorry, one question really quick, Alex, come back. What did you do, what did you improve after getting feedback? Really quick.
Okay, so after we received feedback, we didn't really show it to the class again. But for example, something that was commonly said was that our voice acting could use a little bit more emotion behind it. So that was one of our most, I would say, improved aspects of the project. So,
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, we will be transitioning to our next our next presenter. All right, our next presenter is Alexa Sasaki, and she's going to be talking all about, it's called the Hate You Give Choice Board. So Alex, take it away.
Hi, my name is Alexa Sasaki, and I'm part of Miss Lamos's 9th grade English class. The project that I had to do is called the Choice Board Project, and in this project we had to choose 3 different mini projects based on the book we read as a class called The Hate You Give. So, so a brief summary of the book is where like a young black girl named Star deals with the events that come after witnessing her best friend get shot by a cop, and the essays and the projects that I had to work on were based on the story that was told. So that one over there, I don't know if you can see it, but it's kind of small, but it's one of the projects that I did called Cover Me, where I had to design an original book cover based on The Hate You Give. The megaphone and gun are based off the theme of speaking up against violence. The other 2 projects that I did were essays, and they were called, I believe it was Character Playlist and Words to Live By. For Character Playlist, I had to choose 5 different songs and explain 5 different songs and explain why I thought those songs fit a certain character's personality or the actions that they chose to make during the book. The second one was called Words to Live By, and I had to choose 3 different quotes from the book and decide for myself if I wanted to live by those quotes. So what I learned from this project, or what I gained, is some of the basic academic stuff that we were being taught, like how to properly format an essay correctly and how to cite sources properly. But I also learned how to analyze and interpret lyrics of music because of the Character Playlist project, and design an appealing book cover because of the Cover Me project. I also learned how to take care of multiple things at a time because I had to do 3 projects at once and still get them done with quality. Yeah, I really enjoyed reading the book and doing the projects, so this was an interesting experience. Any questions?
Some project, Alexa, we'll just wait about 5 or 10 seconds to see if any questions pop up in the chat. Okay. Okay, thank you very much, Alexa.
Right,
Excellent
thank you.
project. Our next presenters are Kyla Takai, Ailey Watanabe, and Giselle Ukol, and they're talking all about care homes. Girls, take it away.
Hi everyone, my name is Kyla Takai and I'm a graduate of Pro City High School, and I was Academy Ambassador for the Culinary Arts, Health Sciences, and Leadership Academy.
Hi, my name is Giselle Yuka, and I'm currently a junior at Pro City High School. I'm an ambassador for the Technology and Design Academy.
And my name is Ali Watanabe. I'm also a junior, and I'm an ambassador for the Tech and Design Academy. So our Care Home Community Service project was under Mr. Miyashiro and Ms. Espinosa. The idea for this project was giving back to the community, so we decided to show our appreciation to our Kupuna. We made goodie bags and fun activities for them to do, and by doing so, we really hope to brighten their days and show them how much they're actually loved and cared for.
So we worked with the Plaza, which is a care home in Pro City. So it's a part of our community. It's the one down by Ross. And there are a little over 100, about 120 people there. And every individual got a gift bag that had socks, a mask, and also a handwritten letter made by one of us or our classmates as well that helped out. And it's just like a short, sweet message that was personalized to them. So we have that sort of communication and interaction, like a pen pal type of thing that we could do with them. In addition, we made YouTube videos that showcase like workouts, like yoga, legs, arms, anything to do, that fun activities that they can do just to stay active and have that over the computer type of interaction because we couldn't actually go down there and do it in person.
This project has really given us the experience to plan, create, communicate, and work together. But not only that, it has really opened our eyes to how important our Kupuna is, especially during this pandemic. They're really the ones who shaped us into who we are today, and they've really created the foundation for our amazing community. So we really just want to show our appreciation for them. They really deserve a lot, and we couldn't be more grateful for this experience.
During this experience, we got to step up and lead not only our group members, but reach out to other groups too to help us finish this project. And in this process, we had to give out clear instructions and constant reminders to stay on schedule. And overall, I think that this project really helped us to become better leaders. Thank you. Do you have any questions for us?
Okay, while we wait to see if any questions pop up in the chat, I'll ask a question to all three of you girls, just a random question, but what was the most interesting or unique thing about this past year, which is a very different school year? One of you guys care to answer that question?
I think that, like, in general, the whole thing was, like, completely different from what we're used to, but just, like, getting adjusted to staying at home and doing things over the computer, it was like a whole different shift from seeing your friends every day, like in person, going to school and seeing them all the time, to not being able to see them at all. Just like realizing how much family is important, because we're always with our family and sometimes we don't get to spend a lot of time with them because we're all busy with school, sports, other activities. I think that it brought us a lot closer to our families.
Okay, and we did get a question in the chat box. Did you guys receive any feedback from any care home residents?
So we didn't send out our little gift bags with the letters in it yet because, well, the socks that we were gonna put in it got lost in the mail. So we plan to send them out next week, and hopefully we get some feedback.
Okay, awesome, and I look forward to hearing that feedback as well. Girls, thank you very much. Awesome project. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Okay, welcome back, Charger Ohana. Welcome to our first ever Charger Showcase. Our next two presenters are Kanika Diga and Brian Wright, and they're going to be talking all about their mock job interviews. Gentlemen?
Hello, my name is Kanika. And my name is Brian Wright. We are from the PACE program at Pro City High School, where we learn and complete job requirements. And my teacher's name is Miss Iriata. PACE stands for Preparation for Academic to Competitive Employment, and I have been in their program for 3 years.
My schedule this year has been a mixture of online, going to online schooling, schooling in person, and volunteering in the community.
My schedule has been a mixture to going to school 2 days a week to work on campus and 3 days a week to work online. In the second quarter, we learned about the job interview. I learned how to speak up, listen, and stay focused. I needed to be there on time. I learned to answer questions from the mock interview. Each assignment, I had questions related to a real job interview.
The job interview process for me was stressful but fulfilling. It actually taught me the pros and cons of the interview process, such as what time you need to be there, how you need to look, and how much you need to get, what you need to dress like.
I did the mock interview online with my teacher. I dressed up and I got there on time. They asked me questions and I answered them to my best of my ability.
In fact, here's our video.
Just for those of you watching online, we will be posting their video along with everybody else on our website after the presentation is done. All done?
That's all.
Okay. All right, so we'll open up for any questions. And while we wait for any questions that pop up in the chat, just want to go ahead and let you know that people are saying that it's an excellent topic that you guys are bringing up. What was, I guess, one other thing from the PACE program that you've taken out from besides just the mock interview?
We've learned about resumes as well as timesheets and stuff.
Okay.
As well as like landscaping, we've learned about the retail incorporation. We've learned about the retail stores. So like, there's a wholesaler, and the wholesaler buys the goods. They ship the goods to the they ship the goods to the stores, the convenience stores. So like, and then the wholesaler and the owner of the convenience store all end up then the wholesaler sells the products to the people at the convenience store for a price they can both agree on, and that's why they sell it for a bit more.
Awesome.
In the stores.
Awesome job, Kanika and Brian. Thank you guys very much. You guys can go ahead and take your board out back to your presentation area, okay?
Thank you.
Okay, our next presenter is Ben Whitehurst, and he is going to be talking about invasive species. So Ben, take it away.
Okay. Hello, my name is Benjamin Whitehurst, and my teacher is Ms. Storger. And I'm in Natural Resources Management CTE class. And this year we had a project about invasive species. So essentially our project was divided up into 4 stages. So the first stage was the research and draft stage. So we had to create a slideshow presentation, including the description, the origin, how it got here and when, the distribution, the impacts, and also if it's a threat to humans or not, and if there are any plans to control its population. So the second stage was our peer review, and in the peer review, we were split into groups of 3, and we had to evaluate each criteria and to see if we met it or not, and as well as provide feedback and comments. So after that, we took those feedback and comments in the third stage, the revise and finalize stage, and we used that to improve our presentations and make them ready for presenting and turn in our final draft. So for the last stage, our presentation, we had to choose between either doing it pre-recorded or doing it live, and we had a live audience Q&A after each presentation as well. So what I learned from this project is about some various lesser known invasive species in Hawaii, as well as the extent of biodiversity loss in Hawaii, and the history of the introduction of invasive species here as well. I also learned about the introduction of I also learned about the possible career options we have in invasive species in the future, such as a Department of Agriculture inspector. And what I liked about this project is that it was essentially got us to go in depth on a certain topic, so it kind of resonated with us more in that way, because I feel like when you do something and you have to present it to other people, it sticks with you more. And that is all.
Okay, so while we, Ben, while we wait for questions to come up into the chat, natural resources, what made you choose that pathway?
I was kind of somewhere interested in plants when I first signed up for it, but then now I'm kind of more interested in plant science and soil science.
Awesome. A question did come in from the chat room. Were there any invasive species you learned about that you were not familiar with before?
Yeah, certainly there were a lot. I didn't even know we had barn owls here, for example, but they're apparently invasive. There's also the coffee berry borer, which are so tiny you can barely see them with your eye, so they have to basically cut open samples of coffee beans in order to find them, and they're really trying to prevent those from getting here because they can destroy the coffee industry.
Okay, do you have a career pathway in mind, with this knowledge?
Sort of, kind of. I'm still trying to figure it out mostly, but I am kind of interested in doing plant science, like I said.
Okay, thank you very much, Ben, and you may head back out to your presentation area. Okay, just to give everybody a heads up as to kind of what's going on, our presenters are actually outside right now around our campus presenting to various community members as well as some former teachers and former administrators of their old schools. They're also coming in here for 5 minutes at a time to present to everybody out in the World Wide Web. So again, we do appreciate you joining us tonight, and stick around. We still have about 5 or 6 more presenters, so we do appreciate you joining us. Okay. Thank you again for joining us for our first ever Charger Showcase. Our next presenter is Dayton Ole Paris, talking about his current me and future me project. Dayton?
Hello, my name is Dayton Ryder Tagawan Ole Paris, and I'm here to talk about a project that my AWE class and I worked on last semester and how it provided us an opportunity to reflect on who we are as students and who we are behind closed doors. With vision boarding being used by many successful people, such as Oprah or Bill Gates, we are able to use our own vision boards as a way to express ourselves through art. On the current Me board, students included a bin emoji of their current self and illustrated their own thoughts, emotions, and concerns, while on the Future Me board, students included a bin emoji of who they aspire to be at the end of the school year, with a reflection of academic, social, and emotional goals, allowing them to take a step back to make a huge leap forward. Students also had the opportunity to present with my teacher, Mr. Shishiro, one-on-one, or to the entire class. And here on the vision board itself is an example of a vision board that was recently submitted by my avid classmate, and her name is Kiana DeQuip. The current and future me vision board project was a project that allowed me to gain insight into the minds of other classmates, as we were all able to share our own hardships during this difficult time. It was through this project that we were able to reconnect and support each other, and without this project, we wouldn't have felt unified and real, as this project taught us that we are not alone and that we will always be there for each other no matter what. And from my heart, we are more than just classmates. We are family. From this project itself, I also learned that nothing will change until you start believing in yourself. Only you can push yourself through all the obstacles that block your path. For it is through this pain that we can become stronger. Just like a star, we cannot shine without darkness. And it is through this darkness that we can shine brighter. Just because you are not where you want to be now, it does not mean that you will be there in the future. So stand up and fight for what you believe in. As Rocky Balboa once said, it isn't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. All your fears and doubts are liars, and only you can change your life. Again, my name is Dayton Ryder Oli Paris, and I thank you for taking the time to be here at our own virtual Charger Showcase. I hope you all have a great night.
Okay, so Dayton, excellent presentation, very inspiring. You know, this holds true to a lot of what people have been going through during this whole pandemic. I guess, what's something that you've learned about yourself throughout this entire school year and the pandemic in general?
Personally, I learned a lot of lessons from this pandemic, and it was through meditation and getting closer to Christ or Jesus, in which I was able to find not just about the truth, but about the truth about myself and how I can improve myself to become a better person.
Okay. What are you aspiring to be? I guess, are you in the Castle Academy? Is that correct?
Oh, I'm in the Tech and Design Academy.
Tech and Design Academy. So what kind of career are you looking to go into after high school?
So at the moment, I'm not entirely sure of what to become yet in the future, because to me, I have a wide range of passions, and to me, I'd rather be in a job in which, to me, time is currency, and I want to be in a job in which I enjoy. I'd rather have time to do something that I want to do rather than earn a lot of money. And although I'm not sure of what to become yet in the future, I'm taking the necessary steps to become the best version of myself.
Okay, I mean, I hope motivational speaker is one of the career pathways that you're kind of thinking about, because you did an excellent job, my friend. Thank you very much. Why don't you go ahead and take your board back out to your presentation site, and we do appreciate all of your insight and hard work.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dayton.
Have a good day.
You too. Okay, thank you very much for joining us out there in the World Wide Web today. Our next presenter is Michaela Oba, and she will be talking about her project about writing letters to senior citizens. Thank you, Michaela, for joining us.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Michaela Oba. I am in the 10th grade. My AVID teacher is Miss Lemos, and in AVID we have CTL lessons, Central for Tomorrow's Leaders, and through CTL we had to do our own personal projects, and my project was writing letters to the senior citizens. Ever since this pandemic hit, it has been very hard, not on just us, but everybody here, and I believe that it was even harder on the elderly, especially the ones who are staying in care homes and nursing homes. They can't have a lot of physical contact with people face to face, and they can't really go out anywhere. So I wanted to write these letters to let them know that they are not alone in this, and we'll get through this together. Just a lot of words of encouragement and positivity. I wrote to the residents who are staying at the Plaza Assisted Living in Pearl City. I met with the activities coordinator Casey, who helped me put this together, and she was the one who she's the one who helped me pass out the letters to the residents. Yeah. So one thing that I personally learned from this experience is that everybody needs encouragement and that everybody needs positivity, especially during these times. And I wanted to let them know that they're not alone and that I'm here for them even if they don't know who I am. That I believe in them and I believe that we will all get through this together. Thank you.
Such an amazing project, Michaela. So thank you very much for doing that and for bringing a little bit of sunshine to some people who've been going through a tough time, especially since they're kind of isolated in their own care homes.
Yeah.
Just curious, did anybody write back to you?
So I didn't do writing back, but the activities coordinator Casey was very kind enough to post on their Instagram page my cards as well as the residents receiving them. Yes, they did have their masks on, but you could just tell by their facial expressions that they were very happy, and that just made my whole day, and it just makes me really happy to know that I can do something for these people.
I'm sure as much as it made your day, it made their day even brighter. We do have a question for you. Before COVID, did you write many letters? I know writing actually physical letters is a kind of a dying art. Have you written letters before COVID, or
I have written letters before, in the past. Yes, I have.
Okay, to random people, to
To,
relatives.
I personally love writing letters. Technology today, it's a huge thing. You could just email or text or call somebody, but I personally prefer to write letters. So I would write letters to my cousins. When we were younger, we used to I had pen pals, so I'd write to them. And I wrote a couple times to senior citizens.
Okay, you know what? I'm not gonna lie. No matter how convenient email and texting is, nothing beats the joy of opening the mailbox and actually seeing a letter. So thank you for bringing joy to the lives of some of our senior citizens.
Thank you.
Michaela, excellent job. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, and thank you everybody again for joining us tonight for our first ever Charger Showcase. We have 3 more presenters and we wait for our presenters. May I remind you that there is a little bit of lag between the time we present and the time that your questions are coming in. So if you do have questions or something that you want to ask our presenters, please feel free to type it in as you think them up. Okay, and welcome back, everybody. Our next presenter is Josiah Tamanaka, and he's going to be talking about his personal statements. Josiah?
Aloha, my name is Josiah Tamasaka, and I'm actually a part of the class of 2021 here at Pro City. And so, yeah, I'm very proud to be representing the Academy of Technology and Design here at Pro City High School. And so, though many things have definitely changed over the past year with the global pandemic, as we all know, I believe that some things have remained immutable. Some things have remained unchanged, and I believe that personal statements is definitely one of the big things that were important all the way back then, but they're also extremely crucial to this day. And so in my English 4 class with Mrs. Kwan, I was able to learn about the unique 3-step process of how to write a great personal statement. And so the 3 steps consisted of researching, reflecting, and finally drafting. And so for researching, we first figured out what makes a personal statement have that wow factor, what distinguishes great personal statements from good personal statements that universities and employers get hundreds and thousands of every year. And so the main thing that we found was great personal statements is able to have a great usage of great stories that reveal one's character, of obviously one's skills and talents, but also one's mission and vision to change the world. And so from there we had our destination. And so going into the next step, we actually went into reflecting. And so the students and I took some time to think about our own strengths and our own weaknesses. We thought about our own past experiences, our mountainous highs and our valley lows. And from there we had our direction. So we have our direction, or our destination now, and our direction. And going from there, we went into drafting. So the first step of that drafting process was first outlining, figuring out what story that we wanted to tell, how we wanted to reveal our skills and talents without just listing it like a resume. And so from there, we were able to get into the car to get to our destination. And so from that entire process, the main things that I learned was I was able to learn more about my own strengths, my own weaknesses. I was able to also get a better picture of what employers and universities are looking for in candidates. Though they are looking for qualified candidates, they aren't looking for qualified robots. They're looking for candidates that are full of character. They're looking for candidates that have a mission and a vision to change the world. And so, yeah, thank you guys so much for listening to my presentation, and yeah.
Okay, Josiah, we do have a question from the viewing audience. Did you read other people's personal statements for ideas or inspiration?
We did have some sample student essays that we were able to look at. We actually looked at some of the personal statements of the people who made it into the Ivy Leagues, like Yale and other colleges like that. Okay. So we did have some sample student
And
essays.
you did talk about personal growth. I guess what is one thing, specifically that you found out, about yourself, specifically during this pandemic year?
So for this year.
Or in general.
I think one thing that I learned this year and also from the assignment was that I have a heart to not only to serve, but to serve with excellence. Because I definitely have a huge heart to serve others, and that definitely fills my tank. And I also have a heart for perfection. And so through this year and also through the personal statements assignment, I was able to learn that they're actually connected. I have a desire to not only serve others, but serve others with excellence.
Okay, and so what career aspirations are you looking for post college or post high school?
So after college, I'm actually going to be going to UH Manoa to major in management information systems, which is in business. And so from there, I would hope to really be able to use my education, my knowledge, and my experience, my additional experience to really be able to help the church that I go to, New Hope Oahu, to expand its influence, expand its arms to those who are unloved, that feel unloved, to those that are lost. And so I would very much desire to help in the administration portion to help our arms of the family to extend farther.
Okay, thank you very much, Josiah. Excellent job. Okay, Charger Ohana, please help me welcome our next two presenters. We have Nathaniel David and Kim Agassier. They're going to be talking to us about the moral code of ethics for educators, something that I hold very dear in my heart. So thank you guys.
Aloha and good evening, everyone. My name is Kimberlyn Joy Agusier, and here is Nathaniel David. And tonight we'll be talking to you about the moral code of ethics for educators. So keep in mind that this moral code of ethics for educators, it's fairly new. It came out in 2015 and it didn't become finalized until 2018. So the moral code of ethics for educators is essentially a guide for educators to use while given a certain situation that may trouble their profession and at the same time help them make a right decision. So there are 5 principles in the moral code of ethics for educators: responsibility to the students, responsibility to professional competence, responsibility to the profession, responsibility to the school community, and responsible and ethical use of technology.
So the overall goal of this project is to create an ethical dilemma of our own and matching it with the standards that Kim just announced. So here we have an ethical dilemma. A male teacher receives a text from a female student, and here's the context. The male is 27 years old, while the student is 18 years old. According to the counselor, the student is going through some pains at home and would possibly inflict self-harm. And the text arrived late at night. And to make things even more complicated, the student has a crush on you. So here's the competing tensions for the teacher, which is, what should I do in this situation? And now we have the weighing outcomes. Would I be invading the school's policy if I respond to this student's text? Or would I be liable if the student ends up inflicting harm on herself if I were to ignore it? Or is the student just asking for help for homework late at night and I'm just in my weekend and I don't want to answer it? The MCEE, or Moral Code of Ethics for Educators, stands as a guide to help us answer these more morally ambiguous situations. And from there, we choose with our own moral compass on how to answer them, and the consequences follow.
In the Department of Education, you guys are given a code of conduct where there's set in stone rules where you can do this certain action and you can't do certain actions. But how about we have a situation with given circumstances and you ask, what do I do? Well, that's where the MCEE comes into play, because they create a bridge, and like what Nathaniel said, in the gray areas where you can make a decision on what is right and what is wrong, and you can choose, hey, which one should I actually go for because this is what is morally right. And yeah, that's our presentation.
Okay, so I'm glad to hear that the two of you are aspiring educators. Why don't you tell me a little bit more about, I guess, the subject and or grade level that you guys are looking forward to working with?
So I am interested in going under secondary education and hopefully teaching mathematics.
I also aspire to teach the secondary grades, high school, and what I do know is that I do not want to teach math. That's all I know right now, though.
Okay, and have there been instances, I guess even within school where you have faced moral or ethical dilemmas, and how did you you don't have to go into specific detail, but how was that experience for you?
Personally, I haven't experienced such situations, but I do hear that there are a lot of situations where students may share maybe perhaps certain affections for a teacher, right? Or perhaps situations where a student is going through some troubling times and they let a trusted teacher know. And as a teacher, you have your boundaries with the student. You're not their therapist or not their therapist or your parent, and so you have that boundary to maintain. While at the same time, you have responsibility to them as human beings. And so from what I know, there are situations like that where the MCEE serves as that guide to help us in those ambiguous situations.
Thank you, and I think that's a good guide for even, everybody to reflect on daily. So I do thank you guys very much for your hard work. Excellent job. Yeah, and for our final presentation of the night, again, thank you guys very much for being with us this entire evening. We have Andy Shimizu with a project that I always loved to do when I was growing up, and I'm glad that she kind of did something with it. It's called the Egg Drop Challenge. Andy?
My name is Andy Shimizu, and for our Newton's Laws and Motions unit, Mr. Farrow had us complete the Egg Drop Challenge. Now, to briefly explain what the egg drop is, it's where students create a device that's going to be containing a grade A large egg, and we drop it from the various heights of a building. In our case, it was our KLM building, and our scores were tiered based, meaning that a no tier would be the best score you could get, or so, like your egg doesn't break. And the worst score you could get would be a tier 3, which would mean that your egg would break on the first trial. Now, to speak on my personal experience with the project, I would rate my experience overall a 4 out of 5. And prior to actually creating my device, I watched maybe around 8 videos, including the ones that Mr. Farrow had recommended to us, and with that, I went on to actually creating my device. When I worked on my device, I combined ideas that I saw online with ones that I thought of, and I had a final apparatus that I was proud of. When I actually went to see how it performed, I dropped it from the first floor of KLM building in a 2-gallon plastic bag. When I dropped it, I went to see how it went, and I looked inside the bag, and it was very promising. The device was intact. There was no damage, but then I realized the egg was not inside the containment that I originally put it in. I realized that the egg had fallen out and it broke. So, of course, I was very disappointed to see that rush of confidence in my design to just not work. And when I got home, I was devastated, but I tweaked my design to be more secure so that the egg wouldn't fall out and it would influence the security of the actual design. So I made it more compact. So when I dropped it in my garage, it actually worked. It stayed intact, the egg was intact, and the actual device didn't break. It was a very rewarding experience, and if I had the chance, I would definitely do it again. I took an interest in physics and engineering that I never really thought I had, and it kind of brought me to see that that was a future pathway that was available to me that I didn't really think that I would ever be interested in. So overall, I think it was a great experience for me, more so in the learning process and the design process. I enjoyed it a lot, and I would definitely do it again if I had the chance.
You said that it was a 4 out of 5 for you. What would have made the experience 5 out of 5 for you?
Well, despite the actual process being a learning one, because it's kind of an unconventional and a unsuccessful story, if it had initially worked out, I feel like it would have rated 5 out of 5 because I enjoyed the actual design process. So if it were to work on the first try, I think that really would have gave me a rush of confidence in my design. And really, even though I didn't work out the way as it would have with a 5 out of 5, I think it was still a great experience to have.
And I mean, physics is fun, definitely fun, and I'm glad to hear that you have a passion for it. And now, I guess, looking into the future, do you plan a career maybe with physics in mind?
Well, I'm uncertain with what I want to pursue in the future. I'm a freshman, so I have some time, but I feel like it kind of opened engineering and physics to me. I kind of closed off that pathway. I never really thought I would pursue it. I tried to focus more on like medical business, but I think that kind of opened different opportunities that I didn't anticipate me to ever have. So, yeah.
I mean, and along that lines, we have a question from the chat. Is physics your favorite science subject?
I'd say I'd lean more towards biology, but I think physics, it's close. I enjoyed this project a lot, so I didn't beforehand have much interest in it, but I think now that kind of brought attention to it, so yeah.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you very much, Andy. We appreciate your time. Okay, and this brings an end to our wonderful Charger Showcase. I do want to thank everybody out there who joined us for the evening. It was a crazy, unprecedented, and just unusual school year, but as you can see from our students' presentations, they definitely made the most of it. So from our family to yours, thank you guys very much for joining us. Students, have a wonderful summer. Thanks, everybody.